Today's organizations work differently. People work from home, on the road or at the client site. Their documents are stored in the cloud, on the USB drive or on different team shares. Big data arrived at nearly zero costs. The type of work is also different. It's fast-paced and highly collaborative. Traditional knowledge management tools are too sophisticated, and centralistic approaches can quickly become virtual water coolers because they get outdated just at launch. In a work environment that demands immediate response for the information retrieval, PD tools and methods that enable greater transparency into knowledge and the people behind. Many situations exist in which multiple users generate electronic files on a plurality of client computers that are connected to a network or cloud. The users frequently store their files on different locations only accessible via their local computers. These stored files are generally not accessible to other users, causing duplication of work and other inefficiencies that could be avoided if users were able to locate files on other user devices without disrupting access rights and data security. How much time do you spend each day searching for content and documents you are sure that they must be somewhere? How much time do you spend asking your colleagues if they have a document on the topic? If you have a document, how much time do you spend on checking if this is the latest version, or maybe even colleagues have created newer ones? How much time do you spend recreating something that you or a peer has already done in the past but you can't find it at the time you need it? How much time do you spend looking for a colleague or expert that knows some facts behind the found document or report? I would phrase it this way. Noggle is delivering a managed, peer-to-peer based infrastructure to establish a secure and trusted network between your peers to find information that matters. Noggle is a solution to provide managed distributed search functionality to find documents within your knowledge peers. The application provides methods and tools for indexing and for searching files across a plurality of clients.
Yeah, let's review an example how Noggle works with one example here. So in our use case we will review, we have Mark as knowledge worker in his working environment. And Mark uses mainly 3 different locations where he stores his working files. So there's a private document folder in his local storage. There's something in the private cloud saved as publication documentation, and the engineering documentations are on the SharePoint. So these are the main locations of Mark. And we have his colleague John here, which is mainly his boss, and he is a very busy man and not available at all. So John uses mainly 2 different locations to store his documents. So he is responsible for all the legal and contract stuff, which is stored on a secure local storage device. And he has all these client presentation, which are on his personal USB drive, which are important for client presentation. And we have a third person called Maria. Maria is the research and legal department. a contact person, and she has also a lot of private engineering docs stored on her local storage. She is responsible to manage all the research documentations on a central file share, and she is contact to the legal department and shares all the legal documents with the team network folder on 3 different locations here. So the task now Mark is challenged with is that he has to work on an urgent project update for the next year's project funding. And this task was not planned and arrived just at the day Mark is working on. So the main question he has now is what, where, and who has the latest information and documents on the topic Mark needs to work now. So the situation now, Mark, is first of all, he has to check all his personal 3 locations to search all files and documents which are relevant to the task at hand. So it's and the first topic is that it's very time consuming if he has to log in each different location, search the files, and even for the cloud there is no real search function available. So this is the first issue when Noggle comes into play. So what the Noggle client application is doing, that Noggle has a library management functionality, which means that his Noggle client, Mark, selects where he stores all his relevant documents. So he tells the Noggle client that he has 3 main locations where his working files and documents are stored, and Noggle is doing a full text indexing service and running these indexing service across his documents with his local access rights, and builds a library on top of his documents. So now Mark is able just to have one single point of contact, which is now his Noggle library. The Noggle library gives him a full indexed search functionality to browse all his documents, so he can find instantly the documents on different locations. But that's basic search and indexing stuff. What's now more interesting that John is doing the same. So John also is building a library on top of his 2 locations, and Maria also builds her library on top of these 3 locations here. So first of all, the Noggle client and the library functionality helps the individual person to find, retrieve information which is fragmented, stored on different storage devices. So the managed service now comes into play, which is called the Noggle network. The Noggle network provides additional managed services, which we call the peer-to-peer library management, which is a vault where you can securely share and distribute your libraries. So what happens now is that Maria decides to securely share her library with Mark and his colleagues. So Maria's library is now uploaded via the managed services to the Noggle network and stored securely in the Noggle network. And only the dedicated peers Maria has given with, so Mark and other colleagues, are now able to locate her library in the Noggle network. John is doing the same, so John also securely shares his library with Mark and Maria, because for John it makes sense, as he's busy all the day, that Mark and Maria are able to browse his library, so they can search on her own the documents John has. So John is also providing his library to the Noggle network, and only the dedicated peers can see that there's now a library available for them. So what happens now is that for sure in the Noggle network there are a lot of libraries securely saved for peer-to-peer distribution. So in our case here now, Mark logs into his Noggle network account and checks his Noggle account and receives new shared libraries now from Maria and John. So these 2 libraries are now available for Mark on his daily work environment. So Mark has now 3 libraries where he can now do search requests on. So that his search space now consists of all the libraries. So, but these are not only 3 libraries, these are 8 different storage locations now of 3 different colleagues, which he can instantly find knowledge in. So he has just one single place, it's the Noggle application, which provides now search functionality to instantly search all these 8 different locations. Even if Mark does not need to have access rights for these locations because they are private documents of John and private documents of Maria. So the Noggle network makes sure that we keep local access rights and data protection. So the only thing which is shared is the library, and the library provides full text search functionality to find the documents, not to access the documents. So now Mark is on his own able to search via specific search request on topics he is looking for. If John has updated legal information or updated contracts on the topic he's looking for, or if Maria and the legal team have updated documents in the team network folder on topics he's looking for, or if there are additional research documents Maria has found during the last days, which might be interesting for Mark. So Mark can do all these search stuff on his own. So once Mark locates a document, he needs to ask John or Maria if they can give him the document. So the document sharing itself is done by the colleagues, but the retrieval, the identification, and the search request now are run on one single place over these 8 locations via the library functionality. So that's one main topic which helps during daily work for information retrieval and document search a lot. However, there's another functionality, and in a corporate environment, there are a lot of colleagues which are not directly known for Mark. So there are a lot of experts maybe on the topic at hand, and Mark does not know that there are experts on the topic he's looking for. So in our example here, we have Anna. And Anna is now an expert on especially the finance topics in the company. And for this topic, the Noggle network has a second main functionality, which is called document-based expert retrieval, with some additional geolocation services. This means that Noggle is able to detect experts, colleagues, based on source document information provided. So it's not about searching for specific persons or profiles. It's giving Noggle a network, a document fingerprint, and based on the document, Noggle will find experts available which have a similar profile which is matching to the document. So and this is how it works now. So each person can build his own Noggle expert profile. Therefore, in this case, Anna is using the latest 3 documents from the latest work. So, for example, an article, a finance report, or a research report, or working paper, or presentation. These 3 documents are then indexed by the Noggle services, which means that Noggle is running over these documents and building a fingerprint of Anna. So Noggle does not store these documents. Noggle is only using these 3 documents to build a profile for Anna's expertise here. And this expertise then is uploaded into the expert retrieval function. So now the Noggle network knows about Anna and has a fingerprint about her profile based on the 3 documents Anna selected or updated. So Anna has updated her profile information based on 3 working documents. In this case, with similar content Mark is looking for and the latest financial funding report. So here in our case, maybe Anna has selected some controlling approach documents, so no figures or no funding details at all, but the general funding approach, how projects are approved within the company, the general guideline on how controlling is done on projects. So these basic stuff where Anna is an expert on. So these 3 documents she has selected as her background profile, and this is now a fingerprint available in the Noggle network. For sure there are other experts which have shared their profile in the Noggle network. So, and what Noggle or Mark can do via his Noggle client is now that once Mark has found an interesting document in these 8 storage locations, Mark can check based on the documents he has found if there is an expert available. So he selects the document and then Noggle checks relevant documents against available expert or profiles available here in the Noggle network. So, and in this case now, if Mark has selected a document with a project information or the current budget structure of the project, then Noggle will detect that Anna has a lot of controlling and project approval guidelines selected, and this is a match now where Mark will get informed about. So on top of the documents Mark can search now, Noggle tells him that Anna is a finance expert on the topic he is currently looking for. So even Mark and Anna don't know about each other, Noggle, the Noggle client and the Noggle managed services will be able to tell Mark that there's a colleague who has expertise on the documents he is currently looking for. Even that if this might be a private research doc from Maria, which Mark has found and which might look interesting based on the ranking score which Noggle gives the document, and then Mark checks this document, and then Noggle tells him that Anna is a colleague which Mark can contact now on the topic at hand. So this is a basic overview about how Noggle works in general, and it shows you that what the Noggle client and the Noggle network is now able to do with the managed library management and the document retrieval functions.